investment box 1, investment box 2. The boxes you just saw is about a couple $1,000s of investments that I've made in Pokemon cards. Now, if y'all don't know me, I run a business, Matrix Collects, and I'm not going to talk about the revenue side. I feel uncomfortable when I do so. However, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what stuff I've invested in, go over how much it's gone up over time, as in the last couple months, because well, everything I've invested into so far has gone up. And if you're a business watching this, hopefully you can take some advice. And the big preference I want to make that even though when you're selling Pokemon cards, obviously you want to sell products, sell packs, sell cards, you also want to have an investment side where you put packs or cards aside. And that's one of the best ways you can make the most amount of money possible. And that's something I've realized was that when I hold on to some packs or cards and then sell them like almost maybe 6, maybe to a year later, I'll make way more. And it makes a lot of sense, but I'm going to tell you some steps on how I generate revenue and then kind of where some of that revenue goes to help you if you are a new business or want to have an understanding when it comes to a Pokemon card business. Now, for my Pokemon card business in specific, it's not like my full-time revenue. I would say it's about 40-50%, which is still pretty significant. And I'm going to be explaining to you what product we bought. All right. First thing I'm going to be going over is the single cards, because I've invested into a couple single cards and also sealed product, but I invested in a couple single cards. I want to invest more into single cards, but there's only a little bit that I have at the moment. First one is the Charizard EX PSA 10 from 151 Japanese, PSA 9 Japanese one as well, and then a Gem Mint 10 Lugia Melmetal. Very fire card. That card is almost $500 right now. That's nuts. But here's are some examples of some of the cards I've invested in. Just mainly alt arts in specific, couple character rares. But they were Charizard, Riolu, very popular Pokemon, and why I invested into those. As well as the Charizard alt art. I pulled it myself. I thought might as well just keep holding on to it. We have about 20 packs of Shining Fates. Shining Fates is a great set because of the Charizard. About 31 packs of Crown Zenith, and that's because of how many cards are in that set. Just to show you, Shining Fates as well as Crown Zenith. Great sets. I didn't know I had this much. I have this much Brilliant Stars. Let's find out how much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 15 packs of Brilliant Stars. I didn't really know I had that many. I've been selling a bunch of them recently on my store, Matrix Collects, but Brilliant Stars has the Umbreon and Sylveon, both the VMAX and the normal from the Trader Gallery, as well as the Charizard Alt Art. We have about 10 packs of Lost Origin. This is because of the Giratina, the Aerodactyl. It's a really nice set, not gonna lie. 6 packs of Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike's almost $13 a pack now. So if you haven't already invested into Fusion Strike, you're gonna be paying a way higher premium. However, I would highly recommend to try and find some of these Fusion Strike packs below market. Same thing for the set Evolving Skies, which I only have 3 at the moment and then 1 in a collection box. Evolving Skies just makes complete sense. Same thing for Celebrations. I've sold most of mine already. Being able to have at least minimum 1 is still fine because it's almost a $20 pack now. And I also have a couple Celebrations collection boxes, so I'm not worried about buying Celebrations at the moment. Oh, and then the most. And then actually this stack is not the most, it's the second most of a pack that I have in specific, which is 151. I have 25 packs of 151. I was able to buy all of them for below market. It really only made sense to buy them now. I picked them up. It's funny, the same day that I bought them, actually I'd say about maybe 2 days later they sold out. So I'm glad I was able to buy them. And if you're curious, I buy all my stuff online. I don't buy in stores or anything like that. I wouldn't recommend that personally. The way I look at it is kids buy stuff in stores. Kids don't buy stuff online. That's why I buy from online. Because like the hobby is more than just kids. Yes, they are made for trading card games for kids. It is a very big thing for older people. There's nothing wrong with older people collecting and playing Pokemon cards. But still, I feel kind of bad if I'd buy something from a store and sell it. If I buy something from a store, which I think I have before, I've held on to it, haven't sold it. I've either ripped it or it's just in my seal collection. But when I sell something on my business, I just buy online. It makes me feel better. All right, next we have some weird miscellaneous stuff. This this and a Dollar Tree pack. Can't believe I still have one of those back in the day. Sleeve blisters are a big thing. I have Astral Radiance, Darkness Ablaze, as well as I had a really good deal on Battle Styles. So we have Battle Styles. If you're looking for Battle Styles sleeve blisters, check out the shop. By the time I'm uploading this video, actually the shop's gonna be closed for about 5 days. It will open back up when I come back for my vacation. I have a random check lane blister. The reason I picked up a bunch of these blisters, these check lane blisters, is that they have a higher premium compared to the normal pack, and that's simply because of just collecting wise. You can hang them up, or just the fact it looks like it came from a store. We have a Silver Tempest booster box, which is almost at $400, last recently sold. I picked this up at a pretty high price, so I don't plan on selling it anytime soon. But Sword and Shield, since it's going up insanely in value, it's always a good idea to try and pick up the lower end ones that still have good cards and holding on to them, which this is one of them. Darkness Ablaze ETB, I picked it up like $10 below market. I picked this up at like 60, 70, I think. It's over $80, $85 now. It's an ETB to hold on to. ETBs always go up in price, no matter what the set is. Rebel Clash is the Elite Trainer box that's going up in price. So all Elite Trainer boxes go up in price. I just knew this was a good deal to pick up. And also, it's just a good color scheme, and it's a good thing people collect. People collect and just put them on shelves, and it's a great color for it. That's the main reason I picked it up. We have some collection boxes as well. We have the Pikachu box, Voltime V with Evolving Skies, and then Fusion Strike, and then 3 different Celebrations boxes. Final thing for the sealed product, one of each. A Black Bolt, White Flare. I got them for 22 each, which honestly is a pretty crazy deal. One each. A Glaceon with 2 Charizard packs, which is crazy. And then a Leafeon one. And then my final thing, which I think is insane, 2 3-pack blisters of Crown Zenith. Crazy. But the reason I picked up the blisters is that chance of them not being weighed, of course. Obviously, I know none of my packs are. They're from miscellaneous collection boxes and such that I bought loosely. However, when it comes to blisters, when people are picking up blisters, a lot of people will pay the extra premium just so they know it's guaranteed not weighed, if that makes sense. But I make that extensive amount of clip to show you that you need to have an investment side, because those are the assets of the business. Those are stuff that's going up in price over time. And I made sure to not pick up stuff like Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet, I wouldn't recommend investing in right now because there's still so much time for it to have reprints. Sword and Shield is not possible. For the biggest reason being the cards, because the cards themselves have yellow borders instead of the gray. The Pokemon Company can't afford to go back to change the way they border their cards and now reprint sets like that. There may be a chance where they find maybe 30 booster boxes or a couple hundred booster boxes someone set aside of Sword and Shield, maybe, of like one set. But it's not possible for them to go back and reprint it simply because they're, for one, moving on to a new genre, new generation of sort. But also, again, there's just different cards, different colored cards. They're not going to go back to that. That would literally lose the company way too much money, and they wouldn't do that. Businesses want money. Simple as that. But to have assets for your business, just in case, let's say you have a bad month, right? You have some assets that you can use to make that month better. And or if you need like a Shopify payment, or you need to pick up this really good deal, you can quick sell one of your assets for a tiny bit lower, and then you can get that sale or get that product that you want. I almost sold my Charizard Alt-Art recently because I was thinking about picking up a Fusion Strike booster box. However, the timing wasn't right, and God's timing is always right. So I knew I couldn't pick up the box, which was unfortunate. The Fusion Strike booster box is now up $100. However, you lose some and you win some. I was able to pick up the 151 for $1.25 below market per pack. The blisters, I woke up at 6 in the morning, and that was the only reason I was able to pick up those blisters. They sold out in like almost a day. They sold out really quickly where I bought them from. Grateful for that. Plus, Silver Tempest booster box, I'm so grateful for. It's up $40 now. Great investment. Crown Zenith's over $12 a pack now. I bought some at $7.75, bought some at $10.75, and even so, it's still $12 a pack is nuts. But to have assets is something that almost, I would think, every single Pokemon card business needs. Number 2, where you're selling your Pokemon cards is also very important. People say eBay is great. eBay does take a big portion. Same thing for TCG Player. TCG Player takes a decent portion, but gotta remind you that I've heard that eBay deals with the state tax and all the stuff like that. Same thing for when it comes to TCG Player. I sell on Shopify because you get the most amount possible. I pay, I think, $40 a month for my subscription on Shopify. The biggest thing I'm running into at the moment is state tax. I'm actually going to hire someone for that because it seems like a very confusing thing. If you know anything about the state tax or anything like that, I sell it out of New York. If anyone knows anything about state tax online, I've been very struggling with that. However, either way, it doesn't matter where you sell from as long as you just need to have the knowledge for it. And that's something I can't really give you when it comes to, taxes and stuff like that. Obviously, you need to file the income tax, product sales tax. That's obviously like customers are going to pay product sales tax. Obviously, like there's taxes to it that I can't give you. I'm not a tax, advisor. In fact, I actually also hired someone for the taxes as well. So it's something that I'm not going to give you info for. And it's something I can't give you info more because I don't understand it much myself. However, when it comes to revenue-wise, I do understand. With Shopify, what's good is you can sell through TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop has gone probably about 40% of my revenue, which is pretty high for how much I have made in the last maybe 6 months for just doing it as like a part-time thing. And I'm not gonna lie, TikTok Shop will take like 30 days in order to get you their money compared to Shopify, which will take about 7 to 10 days, which is like a big difference, especially when you need cash flow. However, TikTok Shop has some of the highest ways to get purchases because TikTok Shop always gives out insane discounts to people. So it's definitely a big recommendation I would have is to try and sell through TikTok Shop. And also they promote your videos more. So you just get more views, more followers out of it. You get more reach if you try through TikTok Shop. I would recommend it personally if you're a small business. However, just note that you will have to wait 30 days for revenue from the purchase. However, selling through Shopify is great. You can promote it through multiple sources. So you can promote it either if you have a YouTube channel, you can promote it if you have Instagram. You can't really do it with TikTok. TikTok is like when you promote outside areas, but Instagram and YouTube don't have much issues when it comes to that. So if you were to like promote your business in a video, promote your business on Instagram, it wouldn't have problems with that as long as you obviously do it like in a correct way. Like if you put like a .com in your title or Instagram or YouTube, they're not gonna like that. However, if you just like show it something on the screen or something like that, not that big of an issue. I will say though, patience is a big thing. There's gonna be times where you won't get sales, or there's times where you don't get sales, and there's times where sales skyrocket. It's just patience. It's a very big patience game. And if you're someone that wants quick money quick, it can be quick, but just note that it's not often where you're gonna make quick money consistently. You're gonna make consistent revenue, just not quickly. Does that make sense? Like you have to build it up over time. And I'd also recommend trying to build a community of some sort. Whether that's, you don't even necessarily have to open up product. You can talk about the market. Me specifically, I built a community through Pokemon Go and decided to start making more business Pokemon style stuff. And yes, maybe the Pokemon Go does good, but now nothing does good on this channel. So now I'm doing what I want. However, I will say business-wise when it comes to Pokemon cards and community is great because that means like there's people that would like to support you for you, not even necessarily your product. And that's something that can be very helpful, to make you feel good, if that makes sense. And I guess when it comes to feeling good, one thing I want to add as well is you want to feel for the customer, right? And this basically meaning think about the customer more so than how much money you're going to make from the business. Because what I've seen personally and what I've gotten me the most sales personally is I think from the customer side perspective, whether that's giving them free stuff in their orders or that's, giving them a coupon for watching the video. That's very big. Something you have to realize is that when you think more about the customer than the money that you're going to get for the business, you're definitely going to get more sales in the beginning. Obviously, later down the line, if you're doing way higher amounts, that could be completely different. I'm not there yet, so I can't speak on that. But when first starting out in these first 6 months, I've realized that when I think more about the customer and that mentality comparatively to trying to make the most money possible, I definitely feel like I've gotten more sales. I feel better and I'm getting way more positive reviews and everyone just seems to like it more. That's fantastic. Other thing as well is scams. Scams is a very big thing. I've lost over $400 in one order. Someone has lied saying there was a crease in the card. There's liars out there, there's scammers out there, and it's something you're going to deal with in business. The best thing I would recommend is to suck it up, keep your head up, and lock in. It's as simple as that. It may sound corny of some sort, but people are out there. People will do that. Even if it's over Pokemon cards, people will stoop low, super low, and you never know what they're dealing with, right? The person that scammed me may really need that money that bad that he has to scam for Pokemon cards, right? I don't know. And that's something that you may not know either. If you get scammed, you don't know what someone's going through. And obviously it's gonna suck. You're gonna be annoyed, you're gonna be mad. There's only so much you can do. For me personally in specific, since I sell on Shopify, I was able to submit a response to the person's bank that bought, that scammed me. It takes like 75 days. I think I got scammed back in like July. I'm almost forgetting, it's been that long. So the bank's either gonna say, hey, we're signing with a scammer, sucks to suck, and or I'll get the money. Either way, I don't really care. $400. It is a lot of money, obviously. However, if I think for that amount, I won't be able to, keep building up over time. And if you ever get scammed, it's gonna suck. However, if you let it fatigue you, you're never gonna be able to keep growing, because that's something that's going to happen regardless. And that's something that you're gonna have to suck it up, and you just gotta deal with it, right? And all you have to do is just suck it up, deal with it, and you just keep growing. And it's once you start to ignore it, and once you start to, start feel better, keep getting more flow, once you get a flow, you'll kind of understand like how to keep it moving. However, you got to start the flow, and then once you get the flow, and you'll get what I mean when I say that. Like once you get like one sale a week, you'll start getting a flow of like looking for product, building your community, and more it just keeps happening. So hopefully this video was able to help you at some point to start a business. I understand that I wasn't able to talk about the tax aspect, but I was able to go over the fact that there's 3 different ways to sell, or even 4 if you want to sell on or 4 if you want to just sell on Instagram. And that's simply being, you take Cash App, PayPal, whatever, you could do that. But the best and most honestly professional ways would be Shopify, TikTok Shop, which would be through Shopify, eBay, or TCG Player. Building assets, which means the sealed product itself. Sealed product meaning assets that you have. And when it comes to buying stuff, I guess I didn't go over that. When it comes to buying product could be buying from your friends, buying online, buying on Facebook Market. Me personally, I just find very reputable online shops, and that's something you could do personally. And I think what you should do is just find product packs, cards, just a little bit below market, and then sell them at the right price. Never price your stuff over market. I mean, you do you. If you want to sell over market, you do you. Me personally, I don't do that, because I know by the way I sell below market. So if you want to do that as well, you will get more sales. Just know that the revenue side of it, you're not going to make as much comparatively to if you sold at market specifically. Hopefully that makes sense of some sort. When it comes to buying product, it could be difficult. You can go to card shops, you can go to card conventions. Biggest thing I do is I just look on online shops and I buy from friends. So hopefully that helps. God bless. Just loves y'all. Have a good one. I'll see y'all in the next one. I want me to make like a more in-depth detail, like talking about, what I get for my packaging, how I print my slips, like if I should do like a full day in the life description, let me know as well. I feel like this was a bit all over the place of some sort, where I did go over some good points, but if I structured it better, maybe it'd be a better video. Let me know.